Today is November the 18th. How did Jesus protect his disciples? Well, let's read John's version of Jesus' trial before the Sanhedrin. It's the very same thing, very same scene, but there are two different items that John wants to emphasize. John chapter 18, verses 13 to 24. So the soldiers, their officer, and the Jewish police arrested Jesus, bound him. First, they took him to Annas, who was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, the high priest that year. Caiaphas was the one who had advised the Jews that it was better to have one person die for the people. Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus. Since that disciple was known to the high priest, he went with Jesus into the courtyard of the high priest. But Peter was standing outside the gate. So the other disciple who was known to the high priest went out, spoke to the woman who guarded the gate, and he brought Peter in. The woman said to Peter, "Aren't you also one of this man's disciples?" He said, "I'm not." Now the slaves and the police had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing around it, warming themselves. Peter also was standing with them and warming himself. Then the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. Jesus answered, "I've spoken openly to the world. I've always taught in synagogues and in the temple where all the Jews came together. I've said nothing in secret. So why do you ask me? Ask those who heard what I said to them. They know what I said." When he had said this, one of the police standing nearby struck Jesus on the face, saying, "Is that how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered, "If I've spoken wrongly, testify to the wrong. But if I've spoken rightly, why do you strike me?" Then Annas, "Send him bound to Caiaphas, the high priest." Now, John does a couple of things here. First of all, he explains that Jesus' first audience was with the man behind the curtain, the true power, Annas, who had long ago given up being high priest and every year put a different one of his sons, Caiaphas happened to be a son-in-law, in charge of the temple as high priest. Caiaphas, John says, was high priest that year. Annas was where the power really laid. So in Annas's courtyard, Peter and John come in. John, the writer, tells us that John, the disciple, was known to the high priest. Some believe that John was actually in training to be a Levite. So when he went to enter, the woman recognized him and didn't question him, but she wouldn't let Peter in. John went out and brought Peter in, and that's when the woman, seeing his face in full light, said, "You're one of his disciples," and Peter denies Jesus. This is the first denial. Then they question Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching. Jesus ignores the question about his disciples, and he responds to the question about his teaching. Jesus is protecting his disciples here. In the book of Psalms, God protects us, just like Jesus protected his disciples. Let's read Psalm 121.
Psalm 121, New Revised Standard Edition, a song of ascents. I lift my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore.
God protects his followers. God protected the 12 that day. The Sanhedrin was looking not for one cross, but for 14. Jesus, Lazarus, and the 12 disciples. But Jesus protects his disciples. Jesus protects us. So what do we do about this today? Where do you need protecting today? Go to Jesus. He is there to protect you. Scripture reading from the New Revised Standard Version by Emily Herrera. Let's find out together as a companion podcast called Salty Saints. Zach Kelly and I discuss apologetics, scripture, and theology. Look for Salty Saints on your favorite podcast app.